Hello, everyone. It's Simakula from Buttafly. How y'all doing? I have decided to do a wonderful PSA, is what I call it, for individuals or agencies that are interested in some funding opportunities that have been researched by the House of Buttafly. We have been able to create a grant summary that contains 10 good grants. Okay. As a matter of fact, this grant summary is called Go Lab Douglas Project Initiative, and I'm going to explain all that. The House of Butterfly grant summary. The reason why we call it the Go Lab is because we're trying to encourage smaller grassroots nonprofits and some for-profits who are doing work in the community and have community components to go outside of their usual spaces, especially if those spaces are defined by what we call philanthropic redlining, which means that when they do send out proposals for funding, they don't get it. And it's a struggle because unfortunately those funders in that area do not really cater to grassroots agencies, or they have selected an agency that they keep funding over and over again. So it's the same 4 or 5 agencies that they fund over and over again. And they don't basically resource out the smaller agencies that do a majority of the work, especially if they are BIPOC agencies. So we created an initiative through what we call the Go Lab that's connected to what we call the Douglas Project Initiative that focuses on providing funding opportunities as well as proposal development for grassroots agencies that need tools to help them compete. So with that said, in addition, I thought it would be nice to share these 10 good grants with you, as well as combined it with an opportunity to raise funds and resources for the upcoming programs and services associated with the Buttafly School. The Buttafly School starts next week, or it starts on next Wednesday. I think that will be the 24th of September. Right now it's the 18th, but I might be wrong. 18 plus 7, I think the 24th of September. And we have the hashtag School in the Air, so we're out in the community utilizing that as a resource. I'm so excited about partnering with the Cocoa Educational Collective so we can get out there and start creating educational enrichment for our young people. So with that said, if you are interested in this grant summary, which I'm ready to go over in just a second, we would ask for a $20 donation. I'm going to post some information that says where you can send the donations to. You can send me your email. I can send you a square. You can send it to our Cash App, and we even have Venmo. Okay, whichever one you choose. Or you can even bring it by the House of Butterfly so that I could share the grant summary with you. But we can discuss that. So with that said, I'm going to talk a little bit about these particular grants. They are in different categories. I'm going to provide some base information, but to get their contact and their URLs, we do ask for you to forward the donation, and then we will send you the list. It's a really, really good list. I'm so proud of the research that was done by the House of Butterfly for this particular Go Lab list. The categories that we have are as follows. Health equity grants arts integrated projects, social justice grants, youth development community grants, capacity building grants for newer agencies that are 1 to 3 years old, as well as a training workforce development grant that's specifically for the state of Kentucky, which I thought was really nice. So I'm going to go over these grants because they are really nice. I'm also putting it out there that if you need some explanation to see how you qualify for these grants or to really get some clarification as far as the understanding, we will do consults with you for an additional $30, and that will go towards the programs and services for the Buttafly School. So that's a $50 situation. But if you just need the information, if you just need the list, because it's not easy to research grants, okay? It's just a $20 donation, okay? So here we go. The first health equity grant, there is a grant, and I'm just gonna go through the summary for it. Let's see. Through a foundation, it's called a health equity grant addressing the social. I'm sorry, what it is here. I think it's the social detriments of health. I gotta make sure I said that correctly. There it is. And those social detriments are economic stability, education access and quality, healthcare access and quality, neighborhood and built environment, social and community context. And keep in mind, these are amazing grants. I mean, I'm sorry, but they are amazing. They really cover issues that unfortunately some of the funders locally are not covering. And they give agencies an opportunity, especially grassroots agencies, an opportunity to flex their muscles and start applying outside their comfort zone and to compete, okay, for this funding. So the first grant is through a foundation that focuses on agencies that are addressing the social detriments of health, okay. And it says here, the goal for this foundation is to support the delivery of patient and family-centered care of disadvantaged populations. Now, okay, by funding nursing research and evidence-based practice projects designed to address social detriments of health and improving health outcomes. All right? So I thought that was kind of cool, especially if you are a nurse in the nursing field. That's a good grant for you. Okay. So I'm going to come out of that and go to the next one. The next grant go down. It's about social justice as well and equity. They have 3 set ambition goals for the work: economic inclusion for family well-being, equitable and accountable public health and healthcare systems, healthy and equitable community conditions. Okay? What's so cool about this grant, it says your program should be making progress towards generational goals that requires changing the systems that underpin our society. I'll tell you, these grants are fly. So it's a system disruptor grant. Come on now. A system disruptor grant. This is real business. Okay? Currently, those systems create and uphold inequity by placing more value on some lives than others based on race, class, and other factors. To create a more equitable future, we must identify and dismantle structural racism in our systems. That's what this grant is about. We must create space for health practitioners, community leaders, and researchers to rethink the way our systems work, dream up new possibilities, and put one foot in the future to anticipate opportunities or roadblocks that future may bring. So if you got a project that addresses that issue, and I'm telling you that is very broad, I suggest that you look into this particular grant. Man, oh man. We wasn't playing. The House of Butterfly wasn't playing when we said we had a granted summary that was the ball. Okay? Now, that's grant number 2. Grant number 3. Let me go into it. This particular grant, it says here, they focus on 3 pillars: healthcare, social services, and education. Okay. Let me see what their focus is here. And let's see here. Let's see here. Because they recognize transforming the health of our communities requires more than one-time contributions, they seek partnerships that can grow over time and position their communities to thrive. So this is for holistic healthcare. So if you are an agency that provides a holistic approach to healthcare, they're looking to fund you. Can you believe? Everything is not necessarily focused on things that are prescriptive or that has to be certified. It could be a holistic approach to healthcare. And so this particular foundation does that. Let's see here. And they also fund over time. So it might be multi-year funding. So that was grant 1, 2, 3, 4. Number 4. Grant number 5. And I've done this a couple of times. This grant focuses on social impact, but it's for health. It's a health equity grant. Okay? All right. And I'm going to go into what this focuses on. Okay. It says here, where you live shouldn't determine how well or how long you live, but it does. The conditions in which we are born, live, learn, work, play, and age, the social drivers of health, so they're also with the social detriments of health, are better predictor of health and life expectancy than our genetic code. In communities nationwide, excuse me, people living in locations just a handful of miles apart can have a dramatic difference in life expectancy. So their funding fills a critical resource gap for traditionally overlooked and underfunded organizations. Don't this sound like grassroots organizations? Both for-profit and non-profit. So listen to that. And catalyzes solutions that overcome barriers to high-quality, accessible healthcare, food security, and economic empowerment. And for donors, we offer a unique opportunity to turn philanthropy into action that makes a real and exponential difference in people's lives. So, this particular grant is looking for you if you are basically putting together projects that are focused on health equity and have social impact. The 3 categories are healthcare access and quality, food security, and economic empowerment. So, told you these grants are amazing. I just had to share this with everybody because we need to be able to find resources to really have impact. And so far, I haven't read anything that's located here locally. What do you think about that? Huh. Wow, there's one though. There's one. But these are outside the parameters of Kentucky, but you can go for them. They're national. Come on, let's start competing. That's why we call this the Go Lab at the House of Butterfly. Okay. All right. So that's under the category of health equity grants. Next category, arts integrated projects. All right. So I'm going to go into that. I found really one good one. And I've done this one before and have gotten an opportunity to submit a proposal that got funded. A couple of them, actually. I've done a couple of these. There's a young lady, there's Monet Murals has gotten some funding from this organization. They do murals around the city of Louisville. And also, We Are Children with a Purpose is going to do their Winter Wonderland fashion show from this funder. Okay. But this one actually, I take that back. This one actually is a local one. I'm not going to say which one it is. Okay. But they provide many grants that support the implementation of creative events that engage communities based on identity, neighborhood, special interests, and more. Okay. And so that you can send them intermittently. I mean, you can apply for them intermittently. All right. So if you're interested in these grants, and they're called mini grants, so they go up to 5,000. But if you're doing an event, I would recommend that you apply, especially if it's arts related, that you apply for this particular grant. Okay, for sure. I really recommend this one, especially for smaller grassroots agencies. This gives you an opportunity, especially if you're just getting into submitting proposals. Start with some smaller ones just to kind of build your portfolio up. I think that's important. People just want the big grants off the bat. And sometimes they're not going to give you a big grant because you haven't handled no big money. You got to really kind of work your way up. People don't want to go on that journey. They think they're just going to get a big grant right away. It doesn't happen like that all the time. I'm not saying it won't happen at all. But sometimes, start with something smaller so you can build a portfolio so people can trust you with a bigger amount of money, or a bigger pot of money, as they say, a bigger pot of funding. Moving on. So that's the one arts integrated grant that we had. Now we go to the category of social justice. We got 3 good grants under there. So I want to share this with you. This particular funder, okay, let me go all the way down here. Let's see here. This is the work that they do. The foundation funds work that builds power to advance racial equity. Come on now. You trying to advance racial equity? You need to apply for this grant. Across an 11-state southern footprint. So they like to because they know in the South we got big issues, okay? And they have, Kentucky is one of the states that they focus on. Let's see here. Let me go to the about. Let's see. It says here, their focuses and emphasis, they said they invite proposals from local, statewide, regional, and national nonprofits serving the South that have track records of helping people in places move out of poverty and achieve greater social and economic justice. They look for the most promising opportunities to support power-building work to advance racial equity and social and economic justice. The likely candidate for funding would align with the Foundation's mission, vision, and values and demonstrates the following characteristics. Accountability to low-wealth communities. So you got to be accountable to communities that that are unfortunately high poverty. Clear analysis and strategy. You got to have some strategy involved. That's important. That you have a good network and alliances and resources. You got to have some good partners. Okay. And that you have a long-term view. That this is not a short project that you're doing, but a project that's going to have a lasting effect and go over a duration. Should have got me some water while I was doing this. Okay. And it says the foundation also remains open to new thinking about how to address poverty in the South. I'm going to have a coughing fit in the middle of this. Hold on one second. I'll be back. Ooh, I had to come back. I had to do a part 2. To continue, it says here, I'll review. The foundation, and this is a grant that we're continuing in regards to This is social justice. The foundation also remains open to new thinking about how to address poverty in the South. And we know in Louisville, poverty is a big issue. There's a lack of resources here. It's like it's a very oppressive, especially for people of color. It's really kind of sad how we don't have our hands on some good capital here as far as people of color. One way we learn about promising work across the region is through our open inquiry process. We are pleased to receive organizational summaries from organizations that meet our eligible requirements and fit with our program description. So that is another opportunity that you want to take advantage of. Okay? It's another good grant. I think that's first on the list of social justice. Now the second one that we found. I love this one too. The focus of this one, especially if you're like a psychologist or a counselor or a therapist, this is a good one. It says this grant seeks to fund innovative interventions based on psychological knowledge that directly address pressing needs of communities. Wow. This grant seeks to fund innovative interventions based on psychological knowledge that directly addresses pressing needs of communities. Research is critical in advancing the field of psychology, but communities also need care right now. So this grant is uniquely positioned to accomplish both. They're particularly interested in supporting communities and populations dealing with prejudice, bias, intolerance, and all forms of bigotry, including racism, anti-Semitism, homophobia, and misogyny. Okay? So the project that you do, that you're interested in, should support their four priorities. They need to serve marginalized communities, end prejudice and stigma, prevent violence, and explore mind-body health connections. Man, these grants are no jokes. See, I can find some good ones. We ain't playing up in here. For real. For real. Okay? So that's another good one under social justice. And that focuses on, especially if you're in the field of therapy or counselor or even psychology. Okay. Let's see here. I even think if you have a peer group, this might be a good one for you. Now we go to the other one that we have here. And actually, this could have been up underneath of health equity, but I'll have it under social justice. But it could either go under either category. Man, the Go Lab is burning today. They ain't playing. We go labbing it. This particular grant, let's see. Oh, did I read this before? I might have read this before. You know what? Since this is all real true in real time, I read this before. I just had it in two spaces at once, so we don't read that again. So we had two good social justice grants. So then I'm gonna find one that's really good for youth development. And I've actually written this one before, and we've had some people in the Yukaji get this one. They fund charitable efforts specifically focusing on programs supporting children, education, and health and human services in communities where they do business. I'm just gonna say there's a retail chain that likes to give out grants. Okay. Throughout the year, they receive a large number of requests from nonprofit organizations striving to make a positive impact, and they are thankful to be able to provide a support to a variety of organizations and causes. That particular retail chain is located here in the city of Louisville, by the way. All right. And so the requirements again are: it must be a 501c3 nonprofit organization, focus on supporting children, education, and our health and human services, and only monetary requests. They only want you to ask for money. Okay? All right. But they also have another component, which is a donation sponsorship side. Okay? So that is youth development primarily. But all of these could be under youth development. It just depends on how you are approaching it. Just want you to know that. But that's specifically youth development. Then the other one is, and I love this one, capacity building for new agencies, especially for those entrepreneurs and socialpreneurs. You need capacity building funds. You need money to get your venture and your community oriented project off of the ground. Unfortunately, it is very hard to receive seed money or even grant monies to get things started. But this particular grant is so unique because they offer investments, which is loans, as well as grants. Or sometimes they mix them together. I kid you not. And I'm even going to tell you that they start at, they don't even want you to ask for little money. They start at $300,000. And I really like this one. But you have to be very new, which means 1 to 3 years old. If you're over 3 years old, they're not looking at you. So this is a grant, a funding opportunities for brand new agencies. Wow, come on, that's few and far between. You understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So let me read a little bit of this one. Okay. So this foundation seeks to dramatically improve the lives of underserved communities across the globe by supporting scalable, innovative, and impact-first solutions that leverage existing systems. I love this, and stakeholders. Their goal is to find social entrepreneurs. That's what they want, social entrepreneurs with dynamic products or services that have a proven ability to positively impact the lives of underserved people and nurture those organizations at the early stages by providing capacity, capital, and community. Come on now. Come on. Okay. Their application process is designed to be open and accessible, and they accept applications year-round, which means it's open from across our priority geographies and sectors. Borrowing from our venture capital legacy, we find exceptional entrepreneurs and provide them with, this is what you're going to get if they help you. They're going to give you operational and technical support, as well as provide up to $300,000 in unrestricted, remember that word unrestricted, grant funding or investment capital over a 3-year period. Woo, this is the opportunity of the year. And also they have their own community, because once you get resources from them, you get integrated into their community of socialpreneurs and entrepreneurs. And it's a support system for you. So I'm telling you, this granted summary is no joke. It is really, really worth the time. Then we have another category, training workforce development. Okay, and I want to open this up. This is specifically for the state of Kentucky. Now, this particular grant, they're looking for a program that provides training and prepares folks for the workforce in the state of Kentucky. And they're particularly interested in a program or initiative that provides some type of certification. Hello. Yes, I kid you not. And I have sent a few proposals out for this, and it seems like a lot of people are not applying for this. And this is the state of Kentucky. And so there is a fund out there in the state of Kentucky that is looking for programs that, especially nonprofits, that are providing workforce development training and certification. They're going to fund you. Come on now. Come on now. So I have just summarized 10 good grant and funding opportunities from our Go Lab, Douglas Project Initiative, House of Butterfly Grant to Summary. Boy, that's the longest title ever. Now, if you are interested in this particular summary, there is a $20 donation that we would love for you to forward to us so we can use it and apply it for the programs and services of our homeschool co-op, the Buttafly School, that has a mantra of hashtag school in the air. Okay, that's one thing. Now, if you are interested in further consult for these grants, we can provide that too, but there's an additional $30 fee to do a consult on these grants. Otherwise, we can just send you the list for the donation. If I have or Buttafly has done a proposal for you and you're interested in us applying for any of these grants for you, you gotta hit us up. You can contact us at 502-514-9778 for any information that's been provided here. Or you can send an email to buttafly100, that's 100 at gmail.com. Now, for those who would like to send donations, you can send it through Cash App at $BUTTAFLY100, or you can send us an email and we can send you a square for the donation, or Venmo. But contact us in regards to that Venmo, okay? But I believe that we have given some good information as well as opportunity for those who really need some assistance and help in researching these freaking grants, because it's not easy to do, okay? I just had a conversation with somebody that we were doing capacity building for. They were like, well, tell me what the keywords are. And I'm thinking, there's a method to it. That's all I'm going to say. It's a method to researching grants that we feel will benefit, especially BIPOC agencies, because that's our field. We really want to support these agencies that are not getting the financial support that they need, especially here locally, and giving it are also not given these resources. Okay, so I hope that you got some good information from this PSA from the House of Butterfly. I'm going to post this. This is a rather long one, but it's worth the time and energy. I'm going to post the accompanying information. So if you want the grantor summary, of course, we'll have instructions for that in the posted information. If you want to go further and us do some grants for you through our Douglas Project Initiative, hit us up. Okay? Most definitely. I hope that you have a beautiful day. Peace and God bless.